Well, hello there and welcome to a super secret filming location. Can't tell you where it is, but as you can tell from the drizzle, it is in England. Now today we're here for a very exclusive and early look at a very special new car, a very special new Kia to be specific. And I don't think there's ever been a very special Kia before, but that's the beautiful thing about electrification. It gives brands a chance to reinvent themselves, to change their stars. The Kias that we've had so far, the electric ones, they've been very worthy, very impressive, but not especially exciting. Well, that's all set to change today with a new car called the EV6, and trust me, you're going to want to see this thing. Welcome to Fully Charged. So then, the Kia EV6, what is it? Well, it's first of all another small electric crossover SUV family car type thing, but more importantly, this is the new sister car to Hyundai's very well received Ioniq 5. Both of these cars are going to be built on top of Kia and Hyundai's shiny new bespoke EV architecture. It's called the E-GMP platform, and they built it together. And this is a very big deal for a couple of reasons. Number one, as we know, EVs built on EV platforms are just better, duh. Number two, as VW Group is currently demonstrating, once you have your EV architecture, it is very easy to churn out lots of different shapes and sizes of electric car quite quickly. So bottom line, we can expect a lot more EVs from this platform in the coming months and years. In fact, Kia alone are saying they'll have 11 battery electric vehicles on the road by 2026. So this first one had better be good then, hadn't it? Anyway, let's take a look. Let's start at the front. And I will caveat this by saying this is a pre-production car. It's not quite finished. It's actually one of two that are currently in the country right now. We are very lucky to get our hands on it. So there's a few details inside that may not be perfectly production ready, but I've had a nose around and it's pretty much there. First thing we have to say, completely different looking to the Ioniq 5. No boxy, pixelated, friendly vibes here. This is a much more modern and futuristic, and I would say controversial piece of design. I'm a big fan of it personally. First things first, get a load of these headlights, and this face in general. Kia calls this, and I'm not making this up, the digital tiger face. That's what it's called. I think I smoked some digital tiger face in Oregon once. Anyway, very interesting headlight design. These daytime running lights are sort of in these little shards of LEDs that encircle the main beams and the high beams. Never seen anything quite like them. Very distinctive looking when they're switched on. A little camera here for our various sensors and self-driving features as and when they show up. And then a really sporty front bumper. I like these fang designs that you get down here, these little triangular pieces. It's worth noting that how your EV6 looks will vary depending on the spec that you go for. There's the base car, there's the GT line, and there is the GT. What we have here is a GT line, the middle one, and Kia reckons that over half of its pre-orders are for this spec, so it's going to be pretty popular. Speaking of the different trim levels, here's something I absolutely have to share with you right now. I'm getting ahead of myself, but this can't wait. The GT, the top line model, is not arriving until later next year, but when it does, it's going to have over 500 horsepower and do 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.5 seconds. In a Kia family car, that is Lamborghini quick. Now then, welcome to the interior of the Kia EV6. I'm grinning because, well, look at this thing. If you thought the outside was a departure from any Kia you've ever seen in your life, get a load of this. This interior is astonishing. I think the place that I have to start is just with the quality. This was a really big point that Kia pushed in all the coverage of the car when it was first unveiled, how the quality of the materials is going to be far superior to anything we've seen in a Kia before. And from where I'm sitting, that is the case. I've got a nice little bit of stainless steel here. I've got this lovely textured fabric material across my dash, some nice soft leathery type stuff on the door here, but not real leather because it's all vegan in here. In fact, allegedly, 100 plastic bottles are used in the making of every Kia EV6 interior. You're welcome, Nemo. Let's have a look around the side of it, shall we? Because there is a lot to talk about. For me, the side profile, potentially this car's best angle. It just cuts such a striking silhouette, such an unusual shape. Kia does not want you to forget this car in a hurry, and I don't think you could. First thing we need to talk about, would you look at the size of this wheelbase? The car is roughly the same size as a BMW 3 Series, but Kia tells me the wheelbase is bigger than that of a Kia Sorento. I wouldn't know what a Kia Sorento was if one ran me over, but it's like a big 7-seater monster SUV, and this thing's got a longer wheelbase than it. And that's what you can do when you have a bespoke EV platform. You push the wheels right out to the corners, you have a nice flat floor, and you give your occupants as much space as possible. Now, these wheels, big fan. 20 inches for the GT line, 19s for the entry car, and 21-inch for the GT model. That's a proper sized wheel. You know the easiest way to ruin the look of a car? Underwheel it. I'm looking at you, Mustang Mach-E on 18-inch wheels. I'm looking at you, entry-level 19-inch wheels on the Porsche Taycan. Hey car brands, how about you stop making us pay extra for our cars to not look rubbish? Maybe? I digress. What else? This wing mirror. There's a lot going on with this wing mirror. This may slightly be over-designed, possibly. Cameraman Louis described it as a bit Batman-ish. I think he makes a great point. It is rather dark nighty and potentially not in a super good way, but we'll let that slide. Not the end of the world. Coming around the side here, crazy about this rear haunch. Look at that, such a muscular shape. And this isn't just for the GT line cars. You'll get this on the base car as well. Such a nice, squat, muscular rear haunch design. And here's a design feature on this car that I think just summarizes how unorthodox the styling is. Check out this line, right? Starts down here, runs along the bottom of the two doors, so far so normal, but then up it goes through the rear wheel where it connects with this monster rear light bar. Look at this, what a crazy looking thing. If I'm being very honest, this was the angle of the car that I was the least sure about from the pictures. This rear end is bold to say the least, with this little lip spoiler here, the tail light sweeping underneath it, but I tell you what, it looks fantastic in the metal. There is so much detail to this light bar. It's broken up into the little shards, just like the daytime running lights at the front, and the amount of angle on it, it's very Taycan-esque, which is no bad thing if you ask me. A couple of other details of note back here. I really like this rear spoiler. I mean, like most electric cars, I think it's more there to reduce drag than create downforce, but I like the way it's actually wider than the top of the car. They've turned it into a little bit of a design piece. And then down here, these are funky. I thought this was just a cool design thing, but no, indicator. Ooh, look at that, that is beautiful. I like the way they sweep outwards. And a very well-concealed fuel door. Big fan of that. It's just a fantastic looking car. Do you know what? I might get roasted for this in the comments, but having spent some time with this thing, I think it's more interesting looking than the Ioniq 5. Right, have a look at this. Let's turn the car on. Ooh. And these blue mood lights appear as if from nowhere in the air vents here. I've got another one that runs on the side here, one more inside my gear selector, two 12-inch screens in front of me. This is standard kit on this car. You don't have to pay extra for the big screens. This is just how it comes. One for me, the driver, and another in the middle serving the infotainment system. And again, even on this pre-prod car, it's really responsive, and I've had a little play on the software and it seems pretty intuitive as well. Got this lovely two-spoke steering wheel in front of me. You don't see two spokes very often. Quite fun design. Also really big fan of this new Kia badge, which I believe this is the first car to wear it. Seems the right time to do it. If you're going to do a rebrand, do it when you completely transform your brand image, which I think they have done with this car. Nice to see physical buttons on the steering wheel. Big, easy to hit buttons. A lot of cars these days, like the ID3, have sort of haptic touch buttons on the wheel. And I'm not a big fan of that because they're quite hard to find, especially when doing motorway speed. Proper buttons here. Down here, however, we do have a little touch panel, and this serves the climate control. Nice, crisp, responsive touchscreen, I might add. And what I really like about this is if I just touch that there, ooh, look, now it's the radio. Climate control, radio, some seriously versatile knobs. What else? Well, we've got this kind of floating center console island here. Again, beautiful materials. I love this little stainless steel piece. Got some buttons over here for my heated and cooled seats, because this being the GT line, I get cooled seats as well as heated. Wireless phone charger. This is something you get in the higher spec cars like this GT line and the GT when that comes out. Nice location for a phone charger. I like that there. That's really, really handy. I also like the fact that this being a dedicated EV, we've got the flat floor, but instead of just giving us emptiness down there, they've given us a really, really big storage bin. It's absolutely huge, and it's kind of nicely hidden away as well. And I'm seeing charge ports everywhere. I've got a USB-C, I've got a USB-A, I've got my 12 volt. I've also just spotted this, USB-C ports just in the back of the seats here. The kids are going to go crazy for those. Here's a couple of facts you need to know about this car. This car is running an 800 volt system, just like the Ioniq 5. What that means is super, super fast charging. Find a speedy charger, and I mean a really speedy charger, and we're talking 60 miles of juice in less than 5 minutes, or a 10 to 80% charge in 18 minutes. Now, granted, chargers that quick are about as rare as rocking horse poo these days, but they're going to become more common, and once they're around, you'll be able to charge twice as quickly as rivals like the VW ID4. Seriously fast. Also worth noting that this car has vehicle to load charging capability. That means that basically you can use the car as a big, huge portable battery pack. Fantastic feature, not available on many EVs currently. The Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6 are two of the first to offer it. Now, this GT line car and the GT line S that sits slightly above it, those both come as rear-wheel drive as standard, but are available with all-wheel drive. The entry-level car is rear-wheel drive only. The GT, the super fast one that we get next year, all-wheel drive only. In rear-wheel drive spec, this car is quoted at around 316 miles. That's a rough estimate, but it's probably not too far off. Kia are usually quite good at this stuff. The all-wheel drive car, they're hoping to still keep above 300 miles of range. Seriously impressive. A couple of other features that are specific to this slightly posher GT line car. I've got a Meridian surround sound system, which I'm told sounds excellent. And then we've got these seats. These are called zero gravity seats, which perhaps a bit of a stretch, but my goodness, they're very comfortable. I could seriously see myself whiling away 18 minutes at the charger in this bad boy. Oh yes, that is luxury. But it's not all optional tech. There are some nice things on this car that come with the base car. For example, the 212 screen setup, you get that out of the box. Heated front seats, those come too, and about a zillion safety features. Auto braking, auto lane assist, all of that stuff comes with the standard car. Also standard with the base car, as with all electric Kias in the past, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Lovely touch. Some brands charge a fortune for that stuff. Let's talk space. 6'5", this is in my driving position, acres of space, acres of legroom, so much headroom, absolutely no complaints in that regard. Looking behind me, you could get another jack back there in my driving position as well. Seriously impressive. I didn't show you the boot when I was around the outside, but take it from me, it'd be spacious, and there's no lip either, so it'll be really easy for loading. Properly roomy car, this thing, and don't forget, this is not a massive monster SUV, this is a compact SUV. All in all, deeply impressed. It is just a very charming, characterful interior, just like the outside of the car. It's really bold, it's really striking, it's really stylish. These are not words that have ever been applied to a Kia before. This is the transformation, the reinvention of the brand that they were aiming for. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a slam dunk. Electric Kias have always been very impressive. They've always had really solid hardware, but I've never yearned for one. I've never wanted one. That is no longer the case. I am very charmed by the EV6 and I can't wait to get it out on the road very soon. Well, there you have it, boys and girls. This has been a very early sneak peek at one of the coolest new cars of the year, maybe even the decade, the new Kia EV6. Now, Get down in the comments of this video and let me know what you think of this car. What do you make of its controversial styling? Is it better looking than the Ioniq 5, or am I a crazy person for even suggesting that? Let me know down below. Once you've done that, head over to Fully Charged Plus, because guess what? Robert has done a first look video of this thing as well, and it's waiting for you right there. And if you're based in the UK, there's some handy info in that video about how and where you might get to see this car in the metal for the very first time. So there you have it. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have been, thanks for watching.
Don't forget our great EV giveaway. Subscribe and enter for the chance to win one of several electrifying prizes, including one of 4 electric cars.